The studio lights blazed down on the set of the Jennifer Hudson Show, bouncing off the sleek glass table and the golden backdrop. The audience, buzzing with excitement, filled the room with an anticipatory hum. They had been told to expect a legendary guest, an icon who had shaped generations of music lovers. That guest was Dionne Warwick, the voice behind timeless classics like Walk On By and I Say a Little Prayer. For decades, Warwick had been celebrated as the grande dame of soul, pop, and R&B. Today, however, her appearance was shrouded in whispers of controversy. Jennifer Hudson, dressed in a flowing emerald green gown, walked to her seat with her signature smile. "Ladies and gentlemen," she announced with a theatrical wave, "please welcome the incomparable Dionne Warwick." The audience erupted into cheers. Dionne entered gracefully, her silver hair gleaming under the lights. She wore an elegant cream-colored suit with a brooch pinned neatly to her chest. Her posture was poised, her expression calm, but her sharp eyes hinted that she wasn't here for mere small talk. As they exchanged pleasantries, Jennifer leaned forward. "Miss Warwick," she said warmly, "you've had one of the most remarkable careers in music. But lately, people have been talking not just about your music but about your presence on social media. You've been calling folks out on Twitter, musicians, producers, even politicians." The audience laughed. Dionne tilted her head, smirking ever so slightly. "Well, Jennifer, if people put foolishness into the world, they ought to expect someone to point it out. I just happen to be that someone." The crowd clapped approvingly. Jennifer chuckled nervously, sensing the air tighten just a bit. "You've never been afraid to speak your mind, I'll give you that. But some would say your recent comments about younger artists, let's say, the likes of Ariana Grande, or even about how music has changed, sound a little harsh." Dionne's eyes narrowed, her voice sharpening. "Harsh, or honest? There's a difference, darling. Honesty is saying what needs to be said when everyone else is too busy flattering mediocrity." The studio gasped. Jennifer's smile faltered, but she pressed on. "Do you think," Jennifer asked carefully, "that maybe some of these new artists are just finding their way, like you once did when you were young? Shouldn't we encourage rather than criticize?" Dionne leaned back in her chair, crossing her legs. "When I was young, Jennifer, I earned respect by working hard, by perfecting my craft, and by listening to legends who came before me. What I see today is shortcuts, auto-tune, and egos too big for their britches." The words cut through the room like glass. A murmur rippled through the audience. Jennifer tried to pivot. "Well, speaking of legends, you've had the chance to collaborate with so many, Whitney Houston, Burt Bacharach, Elton John. Looking back, what?" But Dionne raised her hand. "No, no, no. We're not going to skip past what you just said. You called me harsh. Let me tell you something. Harshness is this industry chewing up young artists and spitting them out. Harshness is people handing out awards to songs that will be forgotten in a year. What I give is clarity." The tension rose, and Jennifer's own composure cracked. "With all due respect, Miss Warwick, times have changed. The industry isn't the same as it was 50 years ago." Dionne's eyes gleamed. "And maybe that's the problem." A silence fell. Cameras zoomed in on both women, Jennifer's jaw tight, Dionne's unyielding gaze fixed. The audience sensed it. This wasn't going to be an ordinary celebrity interview. Jennifer took a deep breath. She wasn't one to back down. "So you're saying the music of today holds no value?" she challenged. Dionne's voice was sharp but steady. "I'm saying most of it doesn't. There are gems, of course, but they're buried under noise. You, Jennifer, you've got real talent. You sing from your soul. But many of your peers," she waved her hand dismissively, "they sing for charts, not hearts." The remark landed like thunder. The crowd let out a collective, "Ooh." Jennifer's face flushed. "With all due respect, Miss Warwick," she repeated, her tone firmer now, "I don't think it's fair to dismiss a whole generation of artists. Music evolves. What connected to you 50 years ago may not sound the same today, but that doesn't make it worthless." Dionne leaned forward, her eyes burning with conviction. "Music should move you, Jennifer. It should heal, inspire, lift you out of your seat. Tell me, how many of these so-called hits will anyone remember 10 years from now? Name me one." The host hesitated. The question wasn't unfair, but it was delivered with a sting. Trying to lighten the moment, Jennifer laughed nervously. "Well, Beyoncé's songs, for one." Dionne cut her off with a sly smile. Beyoncé is the exception, not the rule. The crowd gasped again, half in shock, half in thrill. Jennifer's patience thinned. Miss Warwick, I invited you here to celebrate your legacy, not to tear down other artists. I think people tuned in today to hear stories of inspiration, not criticism. Dionne rose from her chair slightly, her voice ringing with authority. Inspiration comes from truth. If the truth makes people uncomfortable, then so be it. I won't sit here and sugarcoat what I see. Jennifer stood too, unwilling to stay seated. Then maybe this isn't the place for you to air that truth, she shot back. The audience fell silent. Dionne gave her a long, piercing look, then smirked. Maybe it isn't. With that, she stood, smoothed her suit, and turned toward the exit. The audience gasped in disbelief as the cameras scrambled to follow her. Jennifer remained at her chair, jaw clenched, struggling to regain control of her own show. The producers rushed to cut to commercial, but the drama was already everywhere. Within hours, social media exploded. Clips of Dionne Warwick walking off went viral, hashtags like #Dionne vs Jennifer and #WalkOffLegend trending worldwide. Some fans applauded Dionne. She spoke the truth. Today's music is disposable. Others defended Jennifer. She handled herself with grace. Dionne was being rude. By the next morning, every entertainment outlet ran the headline, Dionne Warwick walks off Jennifer Hudson's show after fiery interview. Behind the scenes, Jennifer sat in her dressing room, reflecting on what had happened. She wasn't angry as much as she was unsettled. She respected Dionne, but the clash had revealed something deeper, a generational divide, a clash of values about what music should mean. Dionne, meanwhile, rode away in her car, calm as ever. To her, walking off wasn't defeat. It was a statement. Let them talk, she whispered to herself, watching the city skyline pass by. Truth always echoes louder than applause. And echo it did, sparking debates not only about music but about the courage it takes to speak one's mind, even when the world might not want to hear it.